And finally, I would like to kind of say a few more words about why I chose the material that I did and why I chose the course structure that you had, because this is a highly unusual course in differential equations. And so let me just clarify again why I'm doing what I'm doing. And so most likely sometimes you will need to solve a simple differential equation in your future work. And it is also very important to understand some theory, like the theorem of existence and uniqueness of solutions. But other things like phase portraits, population dynamics, stability of critical points, I'm not sure if you ever are going to need it again. I don't know. But at the same time, before I took over this course and what you would see in most other universities, you would learn how to solve very complicated differential equations, which I don't think, although it is interesting, but I don't think it is really very useful in your life. I have to admit that maybe you are not going to need to manually sketch phase portraits, or of course you are not going to probably, well, maybe, but I don't think that you will need to model a love story, a real life story with a differential equation. But however, strictly speaking, so when the previous lecturer taught this course, the students had to memorize some complicated computational algorithms, which I don't think is very useful either. But the general kind of ability to understand mathematical diagrams is very useful, right? So just by looking at, say, at this direction field on the left and realizing that this comes from a system of 3 differential equations, that's at least that's a good thing that you've learned. And I hope that you've learned that you've picked up some general ability of working with plots and diagrams. Another thing is that you probably will sometimes need to model a real life scenario with mathematics. Maybe not with differential equations, maybe with statistics or with finite automata, but still. And at least, even say in your project, you didn't do a very good job into creating a very precise model, a very good fit, but still, at the very least, you figured out, you understood how to model a real life story with a differential equation, and you probably got some idea of which real life scenarios are good and which are not good to be modeled by differential equations. And that is, of course, a very important lesson that I wanted you to learn. Will you ever need to do teamwork? I think yes. And I hope you've learned a little bit about how to work as a team and about how to give feedback to other teammates. And that concludes my